We need to talk. We need to talk. Okay, everyone, it's time for us to talk about House of the Dragon Season 2. I have a lot to say. I'm sure you have a lot to say. Guess what? Everyone has a lot to say. This is a season-long review. Spoiler alert, I didn't hate it. Do I see issues? Yes. Do I think that all the hatred is unjustified? Also, yes. Grab a cup of Dornish wine, sit down, relax, let's have a chat. The internet is intense these days, okay? Full stop, it's intense. There's the constant buzz, chatter, analysis, social consensus that's constantly swaying public opinion in real time. There's a lot of hive mind going on. With any highly anticipated shows and with TikTok, YouTube, Reddit, everyone is just beep, 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 and they've made up their minds literally like within a second. Other people maybe haven't made up their minds, but see something they agree with and they're like, okay, my mind's made up, goodbye. For example, for me, I watch a lot of HOTD content. I prefer creators that don't polarize, like Alt-Shift-X, like the Bald Move podcast. I won't go near the HOTD subreddit. That shit awful. You people, if any of you people are watching this, get therapy, get a hobby, like something. I went in there to ask a simple question because I had heard something on a podcast about George R. R. Martin being pissed about something and saying he's leaving the writer's room and all this stuff. I went on to ask a question, a clarification question. Hey guys, I heard this. Is this true? I'd like to know if there's a source for this so I don't go on and, spread more misinformation. I got like downvoted to hell. Goodbye, you guys are on my shit list. Game of Thrones season 8 was like a special kind of awful, a special kind of bad writing, and a special kind of like, we don't care anymore.
Dany kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet and Euron's forces.
You don't really even have to like know that much to know that these writers, they were out of source material. They were ready to jump ship to their other job. It's giving a senior on their last day of high school. Don't care, not showing up. I don't think this is the case. Were there some problems with writing? Absolutely. There's more than just like the writers of the show. We've recently had a big buyout, network change, HBO becoming Max. I kind of look at it as like you have a restaurant, right? And Ryan Condal kind of used this analogy, so I'm kind of borrowing it from him. So you have like a restaurant, right? Like a Michelin star restaurant. You and I, the viewers, we're the patrons. We're going and we're giving our time, energy, money to dine at this establishment. The writers and the showrunners are like the cooks, okay? They're in the kitchen. They're cooking it up. They're the creative minds. But then you have the restaurant owner, okay? And that's HBO. That's Max, if we will. And they have shareholder value. They have all these things that might be like, hey, chef, I'm going to stifle your creativity by saying that we don't have enough ingredients to make 5 courses. You have to make 3. You can't serve dessert. 8 episodes instead of 10. I don't think this is necessarily the writers being like, you know what? You know what would really like just to fuck them over, just to piss off our base. Let's give them less than what they expect. Third thing I want to preface is like our appetites of television have changed, guys. They have just changed. What do you guys want? What do you people want out there? Did none of you grow up with cable television? They had so much filler content that they'd have to do like flashbacks or a dream. Like an entire episode was a dream. That's the kind of TV I grew up on. Now I know that's not acceptable when you only have 8 episodes. I get it because everyone's saying this season was too slow. This season sucked. But then do you want a battle every other episode? Do you just want like action, action, action? Because that was season 7 and 8 of Game of Thrones. We all hated that. Okay, calm down. Okay, I'm gonna get into what I loved, what I'm unafraid to say was great about House of the Dragon. We had some standout characters, guys. We had some standout characters. Aegon, Tom Carney, what in the world? Amazing. I thought they were gonna make him a Joffrey. I loved Helena in this, especially towards the end, especially in the finale. What a treat, what a delight. Aemond, he's the guy we love to hate. I feel like he's this season's Daemon, unfortunately. definitely. And I think in the show, they've really just given so much more life to his character. I loved some of the auxiliary characters. I love Adam of Hall, Alan of Hall, especially like Alan of Hall in the last episode with Corlys. Good. The cinematography, okay? Beautiful. If you haven't watched The House that the Dragons Built, it's also on HBO. It gives a little behind the scene look of every episode. Yeah, I know that's them tooting their own horn, but that shit is so impressive. The scale and what they're doing, it's so impressive. Before you just write it off and go, I hate this episode, I hate this season was so bad. Think about what goes into it. The dragons, loved meeting the different dragons. Like, holy shit, whoever's in charge specifically of sound effects for the dragons, half the time it was like construction equipment going like, and then other half the time it was like lizards like mating, and then I swear I heard like a crane going like. I love how the dragons have their own sounds, their own colors. Costuming. This is the best black uniform I have. What Rhaenyra was wearing, Jace was looking fly as hell. Bela had some bangers. We also got to see more of Westeros. We got to see more houses that we haven't seen before. We had some really intense scenes. Made me cry, scream, have nightmares. Losing Rhaenys, Aegon's performance, the Cargill Bowl. And we see it on social media, like the soundbite nature. Like, I can't tell you how many audios I've heard. Game of Thrones universe has this ability to make terrible characters sympathetic. Game of Thrones, you have characters like Joffrey, who you just pretty much hate. Just, you hate them. It takes a special kind of show and writer to make me feel sorry for Larys. I'm sorry, excuse me. Even Aegon, who is a rapist and a horrible person. I'm out here feeling sorry for him. I'm out here feeling sorry for Crispin Cole, who I hate more than anyone. I'm out here feeling sorry for Otto. He's all locked up in a jail cell, poor guy. In general, there was really good character building. I know that people complain about it being slow. We did have some good character building. We had some bad character building. We'll get into that. In Game of Thrones, like, slow is good. You have so many iconic conversations. Bonding between like Jon and Samwell Tarly. Just conversations that Joffrey has with his mother. Robert Baratheon being funny. It's important what you put in the slow moment. Game of Thrones proper. You have really great politicking, great scheming, because we didn't have Otto, because Daemon was like missing in action doing God knows what on his ayahuasca trip. Yes, the parts were slow. Yes, things were repetitive and they went in circles, but also a lot happened. I know people didn't like the finale. I was a little bit happy that I didn't have to say goodbye to another character that I like. My favorite parts of the season, please comment below and let me know yours. Don't worry, we'll get to the bad. Rook's Rest, any scene with Aegon. Rhaenyra, I have my problems with her character, but god damn Rhaenyra is so captivating. Helena in the finale, girl. Pretty much any scene with Aemond. I love watching Aemond. All the dragon binding. Comment below. Let's take a moment to be positive, guys. Bad. Let's get into the bad. Was it slow? Yes. I don't think it's acceptable for them to cut the amount of episodes that we have and then still give us the runaround in certain episodes. I don't want dragon battles. I don't want battles and death every other episode or every episode. But I do feel like we need to be moving through things. I think when a character starts here and kind of comes here and then winds up back there, and there are no consequences for actions and things are just standalone, then yes, we have a pacing issue and maybe we have a writing issue. Slow is good when there's a payoff. We didn't get the politicking. We didn't have Otto. We didn't have Daemon being a smarmy guy. Like when he calls Sir Criston Cole Sir Crispin, him being rogue and ridiculous is some of the best. Like that's what made Daemon so amazing. Season 1 felt like a push forward. This felt more like a circle, like a spiral. Like we started here and we came back and we went there and then we came back. They're trying really hard to make Alicent and Rhaenyra the leads and also the good guys. That is causing some of this circular motion here. I think we're giving them a lot more things to do to the detriment of their character. I thought at the end of season 1, when Rhaenyra's like all angry that she's just gonna go off. And then at one point she has to go Sound of Music her way to Alicent, and then she comes back, she's like, all right guys, like yeah, now the war will begin, and then it never really begins. Still hasn't started. Don't just make them the central focus if there's nothing really to give them. I'm watching season 1 of Game of Thrones and you have so many people in so many different places. I don't even know who the main character is at this point, and that's good. Actions must have consequences. That's what brings me to this thing. Actions must have consequences. And I think this is something that like George R.R. Martin has always wanted to make clear in like the tragedy of his writing is that characters can't have plot armor. We can't move in circles. So even if I look at Game of Thrones proper season 1, we have Robb and Dany, two characters that like things are building and building. Dany has this power struggle within the Khalasar, and then she tells Khal Drogo's guys not to pillage. And then one of the people they pillage, Mary Master, is this witch. And then Khal Drogo gets into a fight with one of his men because Khaleesi said don't pillage. And then he gets hurt. And then that same, wasn't Baela the one who was going to murk a woman who Khaleesi kind of protected but had already been pillaged, tends to Khal Drogo, and then Khaleesi gets more desperate and things start to spiral out of control. And then Khaleesi's like, save Khal Drogo, and then her baby comes, and then the baby dies, and then Khal Drogo is saved, but he's not saved. And then that leads her to this like desperation of the fire and then birthing the dragons. So it just leads up, and you see it with Robb, with Lord Umber calling him a green boy, and then that makes him mad. And then Robb is merciful where he shouldn't be, and then they don't kill Jaime, they keep him, and then he's like doing things to prove himself, and then he doesn't want to marry the Frey, and then like his decision, like the thing about him having to marry the Frey happens in season 1, but the Red Wedding happens in season 3. That's multiple seasons of actions building and the consequences and the stakes being raised. That was a feeling we had in House of the Dragon season 1 that I don't think we had that much in season 2. Instead, things are moving in circles, or they're feeling like standalone events. Blood and cheese, okay? Alicent is riding the coal pole during that assassination, and then they just like do it again, and like nothing really changes. Okay, we have a riot. The small folk are small folking. Alicent gets hit in the face with a fish and gets sliced, and then that's just it. Blood and cheese, Rhaenyra's reputation. Okay, what happened? Did that really hurt her reputation for more than 5 seconds? The kiss with Massaria, was she just like her boo thing when Daemon was gone and now Daemon's back and it's fine? We also have Rook's Rest. Does anyone think about Rhaenys anymore? Then we have things like Rhaenyra going to Alicent and Alicent going to Rhaenyra. Where are the turning points for these characters? Both of them went to visit the other one when they have not been friends in like 20 years. They have spent more of their life hating each other than they have being friends. The fact that Alicent's like, come with me. Bitch, what? They had one moment of tenderness at Viserys's dinner. I raise my glass to you because you're a mother. I see you as a mother. That all ended when Lucerys was chomped, when Alicent's grandson was murked in his bed. There is no way these two can look each other in the eye and not like see them being the reason for this pain. And if these things really had consequences, they would not be visiting each other. They would not be making peace deals. What in the world is that about? Speaking of what's going in circles, I think the 3 characters that went in circles the most were Daemon, Alicent, and Rhaenyra. So Daemon, I enjoyed some of his plot. Like I enjoyed seeing what was up at Harrenhal. I like Alice Rivers. The last episode of season 1 was him bending the knee to Rhaenyra. And then he went on this whole wild goose chase, committed some mild to moderate treason just to bend the knee again. I want more Daemon, like I do. I love Daemon. I stan Daemon, but it just got old just for him to come full circle. Back full circle. Where are his actions and how are they compounding and what's going on? Alicent, is she a bad mother? Is she a good mother? Does she care? This is the same woman that tried to slice Rhaenyra with a knife and demand that they cut out Lucerys's eye because of what happened to her son Aemond. She is the one who stood in front of all of her children to protect them from the dragon at the coronation scene. Now she's just like, Aemond, I'm writing him off. Aegon, I'm writing him off. I just want to escape with Helena. She's like, oh, I can meld them. Then you ignore them when they cry. And then Rhaenyra is the same thing. It's like, will she, won't she? When is she going to be angry? When is she going to be doing things that align with what the situations call for? We've seen glimpses of it. They're really trying to make her be liked and be the favorite, and I would like her regardless. At the end, you had Baela being like, you wish us to kill innocents? Kristen Cole and Gwaine and all those guys, like, wasn't she going down there to murk them? She wants blood. Jace wants blood. You think they want blood more and more now that they've lost Rhaenys and more shit keeps happening. Now they're like, oh, what, we're supposed to kill innocents? Bitch, yes. Haven't you been saying that the whole time that you want to be put to use and go to war? And then my last gripe is stuff happening off scene. So I was really disappointed that we never got to see the aftermath of Lucerys's death. Aemond, we did not get to see him burning Sharp's Point. Like, I get there's a CGI budget, but isn't this a flip? Isn't this a turning point with his character? Wouldn't we hate him a lot more if we saw how he just like literally went and destroyed a bunch of people for no reason because he's angry and humiliated? Like, we saw what he did to his brother. I mean, if we're actually trying to build on a character here, we should have done that. And then I'm getting long in the tooth. I'm getting thirsty. My meh was Rhaena, meh, fine. It'll be cool when she actually gets her dragon, I guess. She could have gotten it this season. Jace, I like Jace a lot, and I understand why he's being a pouty tiny baby. I get it. He didn't wow me like that much this season, but it was meh. Ulf, I feel like they're trying to make him like a comedic effect, but he's just annoying. And then Lohar, I know a lot of people had stuff to say about Lohar. At that point, people were just mad and wanted to hate. I didn't like hate her. I didn't love her. It was a lot for a finale to introduce all of that. I think it would have been like a really good episode 7 or 8 in a normal 10 episode. And I love Tywin Lannister and like everything that's going on with that. But for now, it's just meh. That's my take on House of the Dragon season 2. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you gonna stick around for season 3? Or are you gonna diving in the meantime? Maybe pick up the book. I'll be here. I liked it. The internet needs to calm down. It's everywhere these days, and it's really jumping on over to conclusions. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.